There it is. There it is.
Holy Leadville, Batman.
Yeah. What a doesn't even make sense. I can't wait to talk about it. It's like I'm looking forward to talking about that one.
Yeah, and I think we're just going to start off with that because
Yeah.
Leadville will be the first race we talk about, so we might as well go right into the big news.
Yeah.
The long-standing record from Leadville 100. Leadville, by far one of the most popular 100-mile races. Really became popularized with Christopher McDougall's book Born to Run. And the weird thing with this race is that the record up until Saturday was from Matt Carpenter's race in 2005. Matt Carpenter set the Leadville record, and it hasn't been beat since then.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, it's not like there hasn't been any elite runners, that have done the race since Matt Carpenter broke the record. There's been all kinds of super fast ultra runners. Anton Krupicka.
Oh man, I kind of forgot about that. Holy cow, I forgot.
Well, he won a couple times.
Yeah. God, I forgot about him. Did they call him? Wasn't he like trail running Jesus or something like that?
Yeah. Well, he had the long hair, and he never wore a shirt. He was just always super minimalist. He was putting in like crazy training, like 140, 160-mile training weeks. And
where's he at nowadays?
He's in Colorado. He lives in Colorado, but he's run like a couple ultras in the last few years, but he's more into biking now. He does a lot of gravel biking, and he does rock climbing as well.
Oh,
so he hasn't been racing, but he did do Leadville. I think it was 2 years ago, and he got second, I think.
Yeah. So all right. So when we start talking about this, right, when he broke the record, and I'm sure this is something that you may already know off the top of your head, or something that you'd be able to research, like you have the skill set, you could come across this really quickly. But I'm trying to think of how to even phrase this. What is the longest standing PR of a race of that caliber, right? Like of a race that has like high end people coming into it. You know what I mean? Of like the Leadvilles, the Hard Rocks, the Western States, the Grinds, like of your races that are bringing in top tier talent. What race has the longest standing record?
That's a great question, and I would say Leadville has to be in the top
it's gotta
three.
Be close, right? Like 05?
So David Roche is the person who set the record Saturday at Leadville. But yeah, it has to be in the top three, the longest standing records of a major ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the big ultras, it seems like the records have been dropping. But if anybody out there knows of a major ultra that has a long-standing record that hasn't been broken, let us know. It'd be interesting.
We need to slide up. And post on Ultra Running History's Facebook page.
Oh, he would know.
He would.
Davey Crockett.
Oh, Davey, he'll fire that shit back in like 4 seconds after I push it on his wall. He'll be like, "Here you go, dumbass."
Yeah. So, also Rob Carr has run Leadville. All these superstars have run Leadville, and Matt Carpenter's record from 2005. So, that's 19 years ago, 19, 20 years ago. and it was beat by 16 minutes. So
Yeah.
he blew it away.
Yeah, as I say, it's not like he even like squeaked it out. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not like the race we were talking about last week with Killian, where he got it by
Sierras
1
and
second.
all, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not like that. No, this is 16 minutes. It's like
yeah.
In theory, you can't even see the dude finishing in front of you. 16 for that, you know, 16. It's crazy. It's just.
And by the way, so this was David Roche. This was his debut 100-mile race.
Yeah, another really weird aspect of this. Like it's just.
Yeah, and you know, David Roche he is a big member of the ultra running community. Him and his wife have a podcast, Megan Roche, and you know, they're very big figureheads in the ultra running world. And yeah, he had a plan, and honestly, I think he was less than a minute off of his estimated time. Like the splits that he had estimated are like spot on the whole race. It's just crazy. I did see that, but his time was 15 hours and 26 minutes. So. And then second place was Adrian McDonald, another great runner, 15 hours and 56 minutes. So that's a half hour difference between first and second. And Ryan Montgomery, another great runner, they finished third, 16 hours and 9 minutes. So so that's for the men. And then in the women, Mary Denholm ran the second fastest course, female course time in history, 18 hours and 23 minutes. So, by the way, Ann Trayson is the record holder for the women at Leadville 100. And Zoe Rom, another, she's a writer for I Run Far, and she is very involved in the ultra running community. She finished second, 21 hours and 27 minutes, and Julia Wright, third, 21 hours and 48 minutes. So here's a question I have for you. Why do you think the Leadville 100 record why do you think that it stood the test of time since 2005? Like, why it hasn't been broken by another elite ultra runner?
I don't know. I don't know. Like it's weird. Like the only thing I can think of, right? And like I hope this isn't the right answer, but it's the only answer I can even begin to guess, is that of where it falls on the calendar, right? Like are a lot of the runners now turning their attention to like
UTMB, which is 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, are they? So that's like looking, that way later into the year. But if you look earlier in the year, right? Are they, instead of doing Leadville, are they doing Hard Rock, or is that where they're emptying out their tank? Are they emptying their tank at Hard Rock? Are they emptying it at Western States? A few before. But I mean, outside of that, I don't know. Like, it does not make sense. Like, it's funny because, like, to your point, there has been some absolute like beasts running it. You know what I mean? And like.
Well,
so why it has not fallen? I don't know. It does not make sense that it's managed to like hold that long.
Well, let's look at the time. So this is the record now, 15 hours and 26 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, Leadville, like, from my understanding, that the trail itself is pretty nice trail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one factor is that it's at high altitude, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Leadville itself is at 10,000 feet, and the race goes up to like 12,600 feet, I think, up on Hope Pass. 12,600 feet. And I think, I don't know how much elevation gain there is in Leadville, but I'm thinking it's around 16,000 feet of climbing.
What's weird is, if I'm not mistaken, if you think of like Colorado races, right? It's Leadville, Hard Rock, your way, our way, or your way. I can never say I can.
You're right.
Yeah. What like those are the three, right?
High Lonesome.
High Lonesome now. But like I think those are the four, right? Those are your 400s that you kind of think of in Colorado.
They're four big ones, yeah.
Yeah. Of those four, and here's the reason I'm kind of rambling on about the ones I think of. Of the four, Leadville has the least amount of climb.
Oh yeah.
And I think it is also large in part, like, and I could be dead ass wrong about this. I think in large in part it has the most runnable of it. You know what I mean? Like as far as like a lot of fire road, a lot of like.
Yeah,
I think
it's a wider trail.
Yeah,
from my understanding.
But the thing that really gets people about it, and I think this might be where you're kind of heading to, is that son bitch is up there. Like it stays up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least with the other ones, you're still high, but at least you dip down a little bit to like where you can get a breath in. You know what I mean?
It's thin air. Yeah, thin air. And the other thing that I think of besides altitude is the hardest climb, the crux of the race is right in the middle.
Yeah.
So you climb up the Hope Pass from Twin Lakes, and it's like a couple miles and, a couple thousand feet of climb. Like, it's a hard climb.
You know who we need to have on the podcast right now? Ronnie is random motherfucker. Like, I should text him right now, like, hey, jump on this link real fast.
I'd love to pick his brain about it. Maybe we see if he wants to come on next week.
Yeah, because he's been there and done that. Gave the T-shirt away.
Yeah. So then you go down the backside of that climb, and then you got to come back up and over. So right in the middle of the race, you have like the hardest part of the race, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that combined with the altitude, I'm thinking, because you think about like Western States, which I know Western States draws a lot more talent than Leadville, but the Western States, there's people running under 15 hours on the reg there now, right?
Oh yeah. Every year or so, I feel like AJW puts something out that basically talks about like this winning time. What he puts out a tweet almost every single year about like, hey, essentially your top 10 people, their time would have won it almost in a year before this period. And it's like, that is
Courtney Dauwalter's record would have beat many famous, Scott Jurek, Dean Carnett, like all these guys, like it would have beat all these elite ultra runners from back in the day. So the talent keeps improving. That's kind of why I was surprised that it hasn't been broken until now. But no, I mean, congrats to David Roche. But there was some funny like memes and stuff on social media about that. Like, how does he carry all those gels? Talking about like, because Spring Energy is like half the calories. One was there was some reference to Coop and like, I don't know, but anyways, no, it's an amazing accomplishment. Leadville is one of those iconic races, like I said before, so it's cool to see some excitement around that race again. And we already did the results, so let's see. I don't, maybe I didn't hear anything about the weather, but the weather in Leadville, Colorado this time of year is usually pretty good. Right?
Yeah.
It's like probably nice and sunny during the day, maybe even hot, because of that sun. And then at night it cools off, and it's just a good time of year to be running in Leadville. I saw that Courtney DeWalter's husband was running. Unfortunately, he DNF'd, but she made a nice post on Instagram about it. But
man,
that's right in their backyard.
Could you imagine being?
No.
God bless,
no,
dude.
No.
Like that would be.
I will say he does a hell of a job crewing for her.
Oh, amazing! Clearly, she's not as good a crew as.
She has to have one weakness, right?
That man's DNF is solely on her on his handler. Like that's not his DNF. That's her DNF. Like get your shit together, Courtney. Be a better handler.
Yeah, she has to have a weakness somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like I wasn't even sharing the screen. All right, let's move on. So the the old school ultras, Ultra Running Magazine's old school ultras that they had. Well, there was one of them this weekend, and it's a race that Ultra Running Magazine actually purchased and they put on. It's the Tamalpa Headlands 50K, which takes place right here, in Marin, in the Headlands and in Tennessee Valley, and it goes out to Mount Tam. It's a pretty good 50K. I think there's somewhere between 6,500 and 7,000 feet of climbing. Sean and Rom both ran it. Rom did really good. I think he got 6 hours or sub 6 hours. Sean, he's coming back from ankle surgery, so he had a tougher time, but he got to finish. So that's awesome. Looks like there was some fast times there too. In the women's race, Lindsay Allison won in 4 hours and 30 minutes. And Sylvie Abel was second, 4 hours, 36 minutes. And Sarah Beal, Ohio, right?
There we go, baby. Right? Yeah.
Got third, 4 hours and 45 minutes.
Not just Ohio. C-Bus.
The heart of it all, the Buckeye country.
Yeah.
OH.
What's kind of cool, interesting about her is like, I mean, this is jumping back a couple years, right? She won JFK. A couple years ago, and I remember like, oh man, she's gonna be a beast. She was at what? Yeah.
Black Canyon
Black Canyon the year we ran it. We all beat her. So, but I feel like she might be her sweet spot might be like those like 50-milers, 50K 50-milers, because she can burn it down, boy. She's fast.
She's got the need for speed.
Yeah.
Cole Campbell won overall in 3 hours and 40 minutes. He just scorched that course. Second fastest time in course history. And by the way, this race has been going on for a very long time. I can't remember the first year for the race. They don't have it on their website. 1998. So it's been going on since the 90s. What were you doing in the
90s? Running amok in Fayetteville, North Carolina, in the late 90s at least.
Yeah, I was in Bowling Green, Ohio,
running amok also.
Putting down a couple beers. Yeah. And then Finian Jacobson Schulte finished second, 3 hours 57 minutes, so another sub 4. And Andrew Reilersdam took third, 3 hours and 59 minutes. I think Dylan Bowman ran the race as well. I think, yeah, he ended up in 6th place overall. Ryan Miller got 5th. So there's definitely some talent out here.
Yeah.
This is Lindsay Allison was the first female. Oh, yes, I did say that. Okay. Never mind. Yeah. So definitely some fast runners out here and doing that race. And, it does have a lot of climbing, but the climbing in Marin, as you know, you've ran out here, it's spaced out very well, and the downhills are very runnable.
You are definitely, you have the opportunity to make up the climbs. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely doable. The quads are going to let you know about it, but it's doable.
Right. Okay, so that was Tamalpa, and then Squamish 50 mile and 50K was Saturday as well. And I think Squamish is put on by Gary Robbins, I believe, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, I think so. Sure.
Yeah. So the 50-mile race, Priscilla Forgy was first in 8 hours and 27 minutes, 7th overall. And then that was the 3rd fastest time in the race history. And then Sarah Bergen was second, 8 hours, 39 minutes. And then Marcus Ribby was first male overall victory, 7 hours, 17 minutes. And then that was the 2nd fastest race time ever. And Chris Balestrini was second, 7 hours and 33 minutes for the 50. And then Sunday they had the 50K. Alexander Ricard took the overall win, 4 hours, 32 minutes. And Joshua Potvin was 8 hours behind him, 4 hours 40. And then third was Sam Hendry, 4 hours 56. Jade Bellsberg was first for the women, 5 hours 16 minutes. And second was Elisa Morin, 5 hours 29 minutes. Third was Stephanie Ryle in 5 hours 43 minutes. So, and then one more race I want to just go over results for. This is a race in Michigan, up in the UP, Upper Peninsula, the Marquette Trail 50. So there's a 50 mile and a 50K. And so that's that race I think has been going on for a while, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Results. Since 2015. So 9 years the race has been going on.
And look, it's scenic too. Like I feel like the UP is grossly underrated.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Midwesterners get it, right? Like if you're from Ohio, I'd say Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnehaha, maybe Wisconsin. Like probably, yeah. I mean, they get the UP, right? But if you get much outside the Midwest, I feel like the UP is definitely slept on. Like it is impressive.
Dude, yeah. So my brother-in-law and his wife, they live in the UP. And so I've been up there a lot. I don't know, probably like 10 times or so. And yeah, it's, it's surrounded by Lake Michigan, Lake Superior. It is stunning, like just the scenery. I will say that the trails are probably like pretty technical. There are lots of roots, rocks, but it is an awesome place to be, and it is forgotten. Like you said, unless you're from Michigan or Ohio, like in the winter, it's like snowmobile crazy up there.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, everybody goes camping up there. but it's very remote. Like there is not much there unless you're in the big town, which is Marquette. There's a college, so there is some stuff there in Marquette, and I think there's a couple other towns that are a little bigger in the UP.
In the UP.
Yeah, I mean not bigger, but enough to have like some supplies and.
Yeah, I think for me the other part that really kind of I don't know. I mean, it's not like they're mountains, but I think some of the weird cliffs and elevation that you can get up in UP kind of sometimes surprises me. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, all right, this is kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like it's
like this cliff.
Yeah. Well, like it's a good example. Yeah, as a matter of fact, like the one on the website. Like I feel like it really kind of I don't know. It is an interesting place. If you haven't been up there, it's definitely worth it.
And Lake Superior is awesome, by the way. I ran, I know Chaz did the Grand Island 50K. I've done the Grand Island trail marathon, and that's just stunning. Running around that island. Yeah, it's very cool. So the Marquette Trail 50 mile, Benjamin Drexler won 9 hours 4 minutes, third fastest time course history. Ryan Hackett second, 9 hours 45 minutes. For the women, Lily Medina claimed the victory, 11 hours 34 minutes, and Taylor Corkin second, 12 hours 31 minutes. The 50K, Kate Donnell won for the women, 5 hours 32. Second place was Kristen Monahan, 5 hours 32. Oh, so there was only 2 seconds that separated first and second place women. So that was really close. And for the men, Tyler Kobylarczyk was first, 4 hours 21 minutes, and Anthony Huff second, 4 hours and 37 minutes. 273 runners completed the 50K. So that's the Marquette Trail. Again, the UP, it's a very interesting place, man.
This one, I mean, this is a cool enough race. Like, just look at it, might be one that, like, I'm sitting there like my wish list is getting bigger and bigger, literally by the day. Just because,
every episode we do.
Well, it's like, I mean, shit. I haven't been healthy since. It's been I am, as a matter of fact, this is wild as shit. It's been over a year since I've been able to run pain-free, since I ran pain-free and or been allowed to run. So, I mean, I'm going on a year since, I'm over a year since my last race. And so, like you start getting that bug, like, oh, this one. And like next thing you know, you have like 15 fucking races on your wish list.
No, I get it, man. You got the itch.
So it's might be adding another one.
Well, here's some of the pictures. You can see
it's super cool.
Rocky running on a big rock. Look at that. That's like some serious rocks. Look at that cliff edge.
Dude, and that's 100% some shit. All right, you know who's going to see that cliff edge right there and laugh their asses off? If Pete Griggs goes and finds this and sees that, he's gonna laugh his ass off, because it's a very, very similar cliff edge to that right there that we were running at Dark Sky, and a fucking magical tree branch grabbed my favorite running hat and threw it down a fucking mountain into a river, and I lost my favorite running hat at Dark Sky 50.
Damn it!
Like years ago, it was. I mean, the precision at which that branch had to be out over the trail where it was, and like the perfect flip off the top of my head, and the hat didn't land on the trail. The hat didn't land in the weeds. The hat didn't. No. The hat flipped up in the air perfectly, and just fell down. And was just got like zero chance to save it. And I was like, "You've got to be shitting me." And it happened at mile 5 of a 50 miler.
Oh, you had to go the whole race without a hat.
And like, you know, I mean, if you know, for folks who know what I look, I have fairly long hair. That shit was all in my face.
Oh no,
like, dude, it was
sweat coming in your eyes and shit.
It sucked butthole. But of course, Pete doesn't give a shit about how bad that sucked. All he was like, that was fucking. And so like, if he sees it, like it's gotta be one of his favorite things to bust my balls over. It's gotta be in his top.
Just the humidity at that race, I can't even imagine running without a hat.
So bad. But that like these pictures are super dope here.
Yeah, I mean it looks pretty technical, but man, like look at that scenery. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
And the course, and it's just talking about how rural this place is. Look at that. You're scurrying up a
hand over fist rock climbing.
Yeah, talking about how rural this race is, right? And just the UP being the UP. Mm-hmm. They managed to do this 50K, and it is a loop, a 11-mile loop south, and then a 20-mile loop north. That's it. It's just 2 loops. Like you're there's no doubling back. There's no, you know, so.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look like it's like crazy amount of climbing. I mean, 50K is 3,200 feet. The 50 miles like a little over 5,500. So not crazy climbing, but super technical. 15 hours to complete the 50 mile.
Strictly enforced. What's interesting is they give you 12 hours to do the 50K.
Yeah.
And only 50 to do and only 15 to do the 50 mile. Does that feel disproportionate, or is my math just not?
Well, they probably figure that the 50K runners, you know, as long as they're not out there longer than the 50-mile runners.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about all I had for race results for Saturday. A little bit of a calm before the UTMB storm right now. Yeah. Speaking of UTMB, I did find out that Jim Walmsley is going to be running UTMB this year. I didn't think he was, since he moved back to Arizona, from France. But yeah, he's going back to defend his title. So that'll be interesting. And we're gonna do a UTMB preview next week, because the race is a week from Friday. Yeah. So we'll get to that next week. Harvey Lewis. So did we even, when we did the results from Bigfoot last weekend, did we
talked about it. I noticed you put this on it. We talked about Harvey would take a third.
Did we talk about him doing it right after running the Badwater double?
I don't think we like made that uber distinct, but we definitely talked about like, hey, you know, like this is what he's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So 14 days after completing the Badwater double, which is running 270 miles through Death Valley, he got third at Bigfoot. And I know we did talk about him get third, but I couldn't remember if we mentioned that it was just 2 weeks after running 270 miles at Badwater.
I got a weird question for you, right? Of the 3 buckles that's lined up there on his post.
Yeah.
Right? Which one impresses you the most? Which one impresses you the most? Which one?
From a visual standpoint or from a accomplishment standpoint?
Accomplishment standpoint.
So we got Western States.
Yeah.
We got Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's Badwater?
That's Badwater's buckle, yeah.
From an accomplishment standpoint?
Yeah. Which one do you
Yeah.
look at? Which one do you look at? You're like, God damn, that's some badass shit right there.
I mean, they all have unique difficulty. I
Mhm.
would, I don't know. I would say Badwater just for the
Mhm.
sheer heat of Death Valley, like
Yeah,
120 degrees.
yeah.
Um,
That's when I look at those three buckles and I'm like, Western states, like if you can keep your shit together, you know what I mean? Like if you got
yeah,
a good, like honestly, was why like Western states, I feel like is if you have a really solid crew, or if you've done it for a couple times, or if you've been around the block a couple times, like you can like keep yourself in check. You
mm,
can survive, right? Like a lot of people can survive
yeah.
that.
There's a lot of aid stations at Western States, very
Yeah,
well run aid stations as
yeah.
well. So
You just gotta get from aid station to aid station. You just gotta get
yeah,
from, you know what I mean?
yeah. Cutoffs can be tricky at Western States,
Yeah,
but I feel that it's more doable than
yeah.
Badwater.
And then yes, yes. And then Bigfoot, like
It's a mountain race.
it's
You
a
got
mountain
plenty of
race,
time.
and that's it. Like you have forever and a day at those 200
Mhm.
milers. You have
Right.
forever. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
I know we all say that about a lot of different ultras in general. Like, oh, it's more mental than it is physical. 200s are legitimately pretty minimal physical and a fuck ton of mental and emotional, like a
Yeah.
ton. And
And
it's
and being smart, right? Like making
yeah,
sure you're eating.
yeah,
It's all about
just
calories.
yeah. And so like the only one on there that really jumps out to me is like, nah, fam, I am setting the tone. Is where the course is like, I don't care how much you've planned. I don't care how much like you're going to come out and you're going to suffer. It's Badwater. Like battle, like that race is nuts.
Yeah. So I think the only thing that Badwater has going for it that's maybe not difficult is that it's on pavement, right? So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
not technical, okay?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But you do have the annoyance of cars whizzing by
Yeah.
you and the heat from that pavement, and running on pavement just sucks anyway.
Yeah.
It beats you
Um,
up.
I can't remember. It might have been the great King Possum himself, Mark Carroll. It might have been him that told me about this. But the whole mindset of like just stare at the white line, just put one foot in front of the other foot on the white line and don't look up. Just like look kind of like 45 degrees out and just look at the white line and don't look up. I think I can't remember if that's him
Well,
or who.
okay. So a couple things. One, running on the white line is a thing there, right? Because the
Yeah,
pavement will melt your shoes.
yeah.
So the white line helps. But speaking of Mark Carroll, and Mark Carroll just started following us on Instagram, so I think maybe he's listening.
Nice.
Mark,
That'd
if
be
you're
dope.
listening, like shout out to Mark Carroll, like
That's a real OG right there.
a
That dude's
true
been
a true legend of the sport, and
yeah.
one of my early mentors, and just all around great guy. So I get this magazine. It's a quarterly magazine that comes out, and Jessica Vandenbush. I think she's from like the Cleveland area, but she moved out to
Oh wait.
Washington.
Is that her what I know her as Jessica Croissant is it her? Is she married now? Does she have a different last name? I know her Jessica Croissant something like that.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but she has a magazine that gets. It's like a
Yes.
quarterly magazine.
That's it's the same lady. She,
It's
changed her. She must have got
okay.
married or something. Yeah.
So the magazine is called "Eat Clean, Run Dirty," and
Yes.
it's
Yep.
an awesome magazine. Like really, like the articles are very well done. There's great pictures. It's not your typical. magazine. It's nothing like Ultra Running Magazine, but so I'm reading the latest edition that I have, and the very last article is a super long article about Badwater written by none other than Mark Carroll.
No.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And Mark, he's a great writer. Like I love reading his blog. Like I remember his blog about his 50-mile training run at Mohican when he was training for Mohican 100, and and he was driving home like super tired or no, he did it at night. That's what it was. He did a 50-mile training run at night in Mohican, and he got pulled over on the way home. They thought he was drunk or
drinking.
Something.
Yeah.
But he's a great writer, and the point of all this is he wrote about Badwater because he was on a crew for Badwater for Star Blackford.
Blackman? Her husband is also the RD for Columbus, right? Her? Star.
Yes, it's her. Yes.
Yeah.
Her husband is the RD for the Columbus Marathon.
Yeah. Star. Who? Oh, by the way, absolute freak.
Yeah. Star Blackford.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. So anyway, Star Blackford ran Badwater, and Mark was on the crew, and he wrote about Badwater. And one of the things he wrote about was say the temperature is 120 degrees. The human body temperature is like 97 degrees. So there's, even if your sweat evaporates, since the air temperature is hotter than your body temperature, it doesn't matter. It's not going to give you that cooling effect. And when the wind blows, it's actually worse for you when the air temperature is hotter, because it's like cooking you. It's
God.
Right. So there's no way to cool your body except for like staying wet, ice, and staying wet. So that's, what I was bringing up is like, we're talking about the challenges of Badwater. Just the sheer fact that the air temperature is so much hotter than your body temperature, you're essentially just out there cooking like you're in an oven, like,
Yeah, it does not make sense. It makes so little sense. I am fascinated by that race.
It is fascinating, and I've been to Death Valley twice now, but I went in late fall once, and the weather was great, and I went in February once, and the weather was great. It's like I haven't experienced the like crazy hot Badwater, although it was maybe like 89 or 90 when I went in the late fall at Badwater Basin.
Yeah.
Or at the visitor center, not at Badwater Basin, but at the visitor center, there's like a temperature gauge. And in February it was really nice, like 70s, but anyways, yeah. So imagine being cooked from the outside in.
God, miserable.
And trying to run. And here's the other hard part about Badwater. You would think it's a paved run, whatever. It's a gradual grade climb,
just constant
for so long.
Yeah,
I remember driving down that road through the park and just thinking to myself, we're just going downhill, like this gradual downhill for miles and miles. And I'm like, God, drink Badwater. They got to run up this whole
they're going up it.
damn thing. Like, that seems crazy. So anyways, yes, there are some major challenges.
Yeah.
So I would say that was probably the most impressive buckle from a accomplishment standpoint. Now, like if you're talking about visually stunning, Western States is like, that's a pretty cool buckle. But
Yeah.
I do really like the homemade buckles that Candace has for her races. That Bigfoot
Yeah.
buckle looks really cool. So,
I don't know who she has. I don't know who she has do them for her. Like that person was at the finish line, I remember. But to your point, every single one of the buckles are in its own way unique. There's no two buckles alike. The other thing that's really cool about Candace's race buckles is every buckle, and you can't see it on this particular one, but every buckle there is like something from the race, like something from the course in the buckle. And I'm not talking about like a drawing or something like that. I'm talking like a physical thing from the races in that buckle, like in that like I don't know, whatever that clear code is. It's kind of cool.
yeah, I wish I could zoom in more on it, but that buckle does look so good. I
Yeah,
like that it's red. I mean, that's really cool.
yeah, yeah. It is a cool buckle.
Yeah, and you got your Tahoe one in the early
Yeah.
days of the Tahoe 200.
Well, I think I ran it third year it existed, second or third year it existed.
Yeah. All right. So that was Harvey. Um, okay. So let's get into these FKT updates. Tara
Yeah,
Dower.
yeah.
Tara Dower is moving along on the Appalachian Trail. Sorry for
Ratchet.
everybody. Everybody on the East Coast is yelling at me. Sorry, it's Appalachian Trail. So her tracker has her in, and I can't tell. I'm having trouble telling if she's in New Hampshire or Vermont, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah. It's not like whatever tracker, however she's doing hers, is not as good as.
you know what was a good one was that guy that did it last time. It showed him
Yeah,
how close he was to the record, and
but
um,
this will sound super nerdy, but I believe this is. See, but that is weird. Like, so where is? So I think this is New Hampshire, but then I'm also confused on where.
yeah, because this is New York.
Yeah, because you can see Syracuse, and you can even see Albany, New York.
I think you only go through a little tiny section of one of the days.
But what's
Oh,
interesting,
they don't show the outline for. Yeah, so she's in. I believe she's in New Hampshire. Anyway, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
oh no, I'm doing the same thing you are, where I'm trying to figure out, you know, what I mean, like where she is and stuff like that. But I was kind of thinking that, I don't know, man. Maybe she is in Vermont. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe New Hampshire's way smaller up in that area than I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I think you only go through a small sliver of New Hampshire on the Appalachian Trail. So,
oh, I know what's throwing me off. I know what's throwing me off. All right, for the folks who are not watching this, you'll never understand what I'm trying to do with my hands. Here's what it is if you look at Vermont and New Hampshire as the two states, they essentially make a giant rectangle,
yes,
right?
correct.
But Vermont does this number. Vermont makes a V
Yeah,
and is wider at the north. New Hampshire is kind of the opposite and is thus wider at the bottom. That's what it
yeah,
is. Those two states are essentially side by side.
yeah,
So where she's at right now is she's more than likely like right on as the border of the two. I think she is. I think she's actually on the border of the two right now.
yeah. I think so. That tracker doesn't show you the state boundaries
Well, so you're right now you're showing her Instagram page on the thing. If you zoom way in on the tracker, there is like a little. I think there's a little dotted purple line that goes up through. Like if we zoom in, I think that one. I think that is. I think that
it is. It is. It's just hidden.
And so it took me forever to see that. I also had to go to a different map and look. She's right at the. I mean,
she's in New Hampshire.
Yeah, she's still in New Hampshire for a little bit,
but she's close to the.
Yep.
She's close to crossing into Vermont.
Yeah.
So it must be Vermont that you only go through a smaller section.
Bit. Yeah.
And then you get into Massachusetts.
Because she's following, if you zoom way in, she's following the red line down through, right? Like that's the AT.
Yeah.
So she's gonna go into Hanover. She's gonna take her down to Hanover, New Hampshire, cross the river, cross the boundary, and then she'll be in Vermont.
Yeah.
For a little bit. What's funny is while you're in Vermont, you run west. You know, which is kind of It's gotta be kind of a fuck you, right? Like you're trying to go north to south, and you're just running dead ass west.
Yeah, like we're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, what are we doing? But yeah.
Okay, well, I guess you're in Vermont longer than what I thought.
But really not much though. To your point, I mean, you are correct. It is because it's down that narrow bottom part of Vermont, so you're really only running across. You know what I mean?
And you do go through. So yeah, then you go through Massachusetts. And then you go through. Do you hit Connecticut at all? I don't know. You go into New York.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, anyways, so and with this tracker, I don't know how close she is to the record, but I'm sure we will find out more as the time goes on.
Yeah.
Again, she's running for charity. This Girls on the Run. I'll have the link in the show notes if anybody is interested in learning more about it or donating. Mike Wardian, like I said, he's not going for an FKT. He's just out there raising money for charity himself. And he's raising money for the World Vision, building wells and things like that. And super poor and down on their luck communities. So good cause. And he's on day 21. If this post was today, I'm not sure. Edited 1 hour ago. So he's on day 21. He's 701 miles in. That's 33 miles a day average. Connecticut, 5th state. Right. So he went through Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts. And he did 38 miles today with about 7,800 feet of climbing. And he's now in Connecticut. So he's moving on towards New York. Today was a good day. He met some thru hikers, met a mushroom forager. It's funny because he's listening to the books and music. Like he always puts what he's listening to and what he's reading, or he's listening to digital books. Books, one, John Mars, and music, Zach Bryant and Bob Seger. Bob Seger, pretty good road trip music.
Yeah. He is an interesting dude, man.
Yeah. No doubt. So that's where Mike Wardian is. And the big news really is that Bronco Billy, Jeff Browning, started his Colorado Trail FKT on Sunday morning. He's got a hell of a crew. He's got the training. Like he's perfectly set up to break the record, but it's going to be close. I mean, it's a tough record to break. And
that's a brutal one, man.
The Colorado Trail.
Yeah.
There's two different. Well, okay, so there's really 4 different records for the Colorado Trail. You have from like south to north, or I think they call it from west to east. And then there's 2 options around a certain area, the collegiate peaks. You can go west around them or east around them. So really you can go north or you can go south, and then you can go on one of the 2 ways. So really, was that 6? Yeah, that's 6 different possible routes, right? But the route he's doing is a certain amount of time, but he doesn't care about the route. He's going for the overall. He's going for the overall record. He's going for the route record and the overall record. And he's currently at day 4, mile 240, around there. And he's currently a few hours under goal pace. So
that's a good start, man. It's a good start.
Yeah, if anybody can do it, it's Bronco, man. That guy is just a straight up beast.
Yeah.
There's the map there. He's moving along. He's over halfway. So I think he's using the same tracker that Tara's using. Piece of crap tracker. No. No, it's a Garmin tracker. That's the Continental Divide Trail, which I believe is part of the Colorado Trail. Yeah. That's cool. If you zoom in far enough, it gives you the
like
the satellite view.
See the woods.
Yeah. But anyways, Bronco Billy's also doing this for charity, and I'm putting the links to all the charities for these 3 in the show notes. He's doing it for the Warrior Trail Foundation. It's a great cause. It's the Longevity Project in partnership with the Warrior Trail Foundation. It's about supporting veterans and their families on a journey towards growth and resilience. I'll put the link in if you want to learn more about it, but it's a pretty cool cause. So, okay, well,
might be a short episode tonight. We kind of breezed through everything. Like you said, light week this week, down to we're just now late since we're just flying through time and we don't have any more FKTs to talk about. Nothing else really on the agenda to talk about. Let me ask you about somebody. Just because we had the Instagram up, scrolling through looking at folks' stuff, and like this person's video just popped up. Matt Choi. Does that name ring a bell?
No, Matt. CHOI?
Yeah.
Okay, video producer, athlete.
He looks vaguely familiar. I feel like I see him on TikTok a fair amount, actually.
Okay.
But anyways, I was going to say what you're looking at is kind of what I was just looking at. Dude got the big buckle. Look at that time, because you have to get that. You have to do sub 25. Time was like 24:49. Just.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice. So 25 hours is the big buckle.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of him.
He looks kind of familiar, and I was like, I can't.
14:54 pace.
It's kind of funny too because you see. Oh shit! I kind of wish I wouldn't have went down his videos a little bit more. This dude, Did he switch out shoes just to do a water crossing?
It's possible.
Oh wait, no, he had those shoes on. It's those white shoes.
Crocs?
They do look like Crocs. They look like tennis shoe Crocs or something.
Maybe he was carrying Crocs with him for the river crossing.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. I've never.
I guess it's smart. If you have the time to change.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to carry anything extra myself. But...
No, I'm just going to walk through the damn water.
Yeah, I know. It's like.
And especially being at Leadville, it's so dry, your feet will dry out. Should dry out pretty quickly. Looks like he's wearing those Speedlands, those super expensive.
See, he's carrying.
He did wear Crocs through that river. He did.
So, but I don't understand why he has them on so often, though.
Well, I think that river crossing was like right before the aid station.
It's so weird. Yeah, I feel like he has those shoes on a ton. Like, was that some sort of like gimmick? Is he? I don't know. It's super interesting. I don't know. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole of weird.
Kind of some cool video footage of the race, though.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's a really good videographer. Like, his videos are pretty cool. Like, he has really clean, good quality.
Yeah, so he's carrying his Speedlands there, and he's wearing his Crocs. I think that's right by the aid station.
Yeah.
Those Speedland shoes are like $350 or $360 a pair.
Yeah.
Look at that big son.
Look at the big son of a bitch running behind him.
He's got the camera.
God damn. Yeah. I wonder what this dude's kind of like. I wonder what his like. I think he's mainly a marathoner.
Yeah. Well, to hold down a sub 15-minute pace at Leadville is
fucking getting it.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
He might have did Grindstone.
Boy, he has a lot of videos of the race.
Yeah.
He must have had somebody with him.
Yeah, I mean, like, the amount of
passing.
Yeah, the amount of videos he did do Grindstone. There's like how you do the little highlight thingamabobbies on your Instagram page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he has a little one for Grindstone.
Boy, he has been just switching out those Crocs for the water crossings.
It's wild, right? Like, it's like.
Yeah, I don't know. Most people go through with their shoes on, but I guess he's saving his feet.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of funny. I mean, how much shit can you talk about a dude who just bust out a sub 25?
Yeah, we can't.
I mean, that is the most Roadrunner-esque shit I've ever seen in my life right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, I gotta put my Crocs on. Like, motherfucker, hit the water. That is some Roadrunner shit right there for real.
Yeah. Well, he's got a lot of great footage, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, he has some really cool footage. All right, good sir. What else we got? Anything? We're ready to wrap it up for today?
I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I've had a pretty tiring week. Need to get some sleep.
Boy. Hey, for the listeners that don't know, fucking send Jamie some love. Hey, he's getting ready to have a hell of a fucking September. So he's got a big month coming up.
We got a few things going on. We'll get to that in the future episodes.
Yeah.
But, September will be a big month. So.
Cool. All right. Well, good time as always. Good chit chat. Loved it.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with our UTMB preview.
Nice.
No shortage of talent at UTMB. I guess the boycott didn't really take. So
Didn't stick. Yeah, turns out it didn't stick.
yeah.
All right,
But
cool.
we'll get
All
into that next week. Everybody, have a great weekend. Have a good long run.
right, see y'all later. Thanks.
Bye.